The world is full of wonders.
Magic is waiting in small moments.
And monsters might be watching, just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
I am down for some downtime because I'm Damien Edgecrest.
I have never been so excited to be awake. I'm Raven Eugenia.
It's good to have friends in a variety of places. I'm Amity Starnbrook.
It might be time to invest in an electric bike. I'm Hugo Rashad.
God, what a nightmare. I'm Agent Whitaker.
Putting my siblings in their place with my beloved partner? What a dream come true.
Gross.
I'm Aiden Brightwood.
Gay.
God.
Let's have an adventure. Last time, we watched as Raven, Aiden, and Coraline battled it out in the dream realm against her vicious siblings, the Demon Lords, through a series of whimsical, terrifying, and non-Euclidean dreamscape magic. Our favorite battle lesbians and eco-millionaire thief.
Social media icon.
Eco-philanthropist and millionaire thief. I'll figure out what Coraline's title is.
She's that girl.
That bitch.
Capital T, capital B, TM.
And our favorite cuddly non-binary roommate, Wendy.
Any and all pronouns.
Yeah, y'all did a great job. Gosh.
We kicked some ass. We got our
You
asses
kicked some butt. It was scary. It was emotional. It was beautiful. And it all ended with the mysterious arrival of a glowing draconic figure. However, we're going to pick up later. Time has passed since the casino or the events at the Deep. And you all are going to enter a period of downtime, for which I have a brand new mechanic. So let me go over that right now. The way this is going to work, we have different categories in which the hunters can roll to sort of sum up activities that they are going to be engaging in between mysteries this season. Just because there's a lot we got to get through and there's a lot we want to do and threads to chase. And so this will be a way to not leave anything behind, but also keep things moving along. It is fully a merging of the love letters mechanic, which we used a few episodes back in season 2, and the downtime mechanic from D20's recent season. So, Whitaker.
Yeah.
Let's check in with you. What is your downtime activity following, just to catch everyone up on what really happened, the fight in the Portland Bay against the Marrow? Because Morgan Wright did not come to your apartment to talk to you, and the events of the casino gala sort of ended the way many public gatherings end, which is just, they're over. Now it's back to business as usual.
Immediately after those events, Whitaker spent the rest of the night on his laptop, headphones on. He was listening to the bug placed on Ariel Valentine. He's typing up the mission report on his laptop, and every now and then he has a little journal next to him. He writes down basically a transcript of the conversation between Ariel and Meridian.
Yes, where he discusses the Philosopher's Stone spell components.
The downfall of King O, hitting what's the Lich's name?
Harkness.
The plans to hit Harkness. That's all written down.
Yep.
Can I retroactively add a little extra pain?
Mm-hmm.
So when Whitaker was listening to the wiretap with Ariel talking to Meridian, sometime after the conversation ends, and if he continues listening, he hears her leave, but there's silence, and then there's like a bit of sniffling and heavy breathing.
Oh.
As she calms herself down from a panic attack.
Yep.
Does a little pep talk like, get it together.
And Valentine,
Yeah.
it is as you wipe at your eyes that you notice a pearl tucked into one of your gloves as a little pin.
Oh, yeah.
You examine it and realize it's a receiver.
Correct me if I'm wrong, she would remember who was wearing pearl pins in their hair that evening, right?
Everyone from Rogue Team.
Yeah. There's a mix of bitterness, but also defeat in her voice. She takes it off of her cuff, holds it up closer to her face. I hope you fucking got all of that. Throws it. You hear it clatter across the street.
A lion goes dead.
Nice. Yeah.
Amazing.
But he's actually not really going to capitalize on any of those things, and he is actually going to spend his downtime putting the final nail in the coffin on King O. After the events that transpired at the casino, two things stuck out to me and Whitaker as like really fucked up and crazy, and it was like the Selkie pelts that were all kept in that big vault area and having the siren die in front of Whitaker.
Yep.
So like clearly having seen the way that type of contract leads to the most fucked up deaths you can imagine, I want to have Whitaker try to find a way to get photos of the Selkie pelts and then leak those to the press to try and create like enough public outcry about this system to get like some official eyes on it, get some legislation on it. Like this isn't something he could launch an investigation on. This is something where he's like, it could be like a vigilante thing where, you know, he recruits Hugo and Damien to go sneak in and get this, or he tries to get one of the other employees to do this for him. I don't have a method in place. I wasn't sure how we were going to tackle this. So
That's fair. I have ideas. I think, based on our categories, this is a job/responsibilities role.
sure.
You are being an Eastie agent, following leads, trying to build a case. So, yeah, I think roll plus you're cool,
Let's do it.
and we'll see how this goes.
It's an 11.
Okay. Using your vast resources, you really pull on the agency support that you are granted given your station there. And you locate the boat of the people that wound up killing the siren. And I'm pretty sure it sank, right? The Marrow like took it down. So this is like an agency, like you have to unsink and like raise this boat and get it looked at. And it is not traceable to King O in any way, oddly so. And I think if you were also able to recover one or more of the bodies of the like people operating that vehicle, they also don't come up as people associated with King O's operation. Even with an 11, you look into trying to get into the vault again, and the logistics on that are not really feasible without like a better case. And I think even if you go the vigilante route, Hugo and maybe Damien would discover that like security on that vault has become frightening. King O now knows he has to keep his secret valuables secret and valuable still. And I think with the death of that siren, there is unease amongst the employees at the Deep. But aside from River Beckett, who you got the contract destroyed and her coat returned, any attempt by the agency to reach out and make contact is met with refusal to cooperate. No one wants to talk right now. That's what you find. In fact, let's jump to a funeral. In a folk burial site in Portland, several people are there, including King O, Whitaker.
Oh, I'm about to throw hands at a funeral.
He's standing there with an umbrella. It's raining. There are several sirens grieving over their friend being dead. And King O looks upset.
God. Whitaker will approach, walk up alongside King O, not looking at him, just head straight forward.
Not today, Agent Whitaker. I've not the stomach to argue with you.
You've got the stomach to send her into danger, though.
The world is dangerous and has been dangerous for folk like us for some time. So I send my people to take risks. It sometimes costs us.
Well, glad to know we both agree on who's responsible.
He turns to face you, lets the umbrella drop to the side. His tail, that royal beneath his skin, flickers across his hand. And he says, "You can pin blame whatever you like, Whitaker. But damn ye and your cursed heart to the trench if ye think you can pin one of my girls' deaths on me."
Ooh.
He abandons the umbrella and simply walks away in the rain, letting it soak through his suit as he goes to his limo to drive away.
Oh, man.
Did you just make him sympathetic?
I know. I think Whitaker is actually quite stunned. Oh my God.
You've tugged on that thread. Didn't lead where you thought it would.
I think Whitaker is briefly shocked out of his mode that he gets in around King O, and for a moment goes, "John, wait." And he turns around and holds the umbrella briefly up over him.
He stops. He's in his limousine, but the window rolls down.
Oh, sure. And Whitaker just kind of eyes him.
He's staring forward.
"Sorry I couldn't save her."
Men like us are always sorry for a lot of things.
Ugh.
Damn.
Ugh.
Whitaker, in the days following, Olivia Easty calls you to her office.
Oh, God damn it.
She hands you a briefing packet and says, "New orders for Rogue Team." You see on the docket, in one of the initial pages, transport to Seattle.
Are we switching? We're moving cities?
Your team is being sent to Seattle on your next mission.
An away mission, right now. There's a massive power transfer about to happen in the bay, and you're sending us away now.
Seattle's in dire straits, Whitaker. King O is moving some sort of new product up there. It's been documented by Agent Edgecrest, in fact. She pulls up a report that describes the green crystal and it being tied to Eyes, the Lynx shifter, who was a member of Cade Tolvain's shifter gang, known associates of King O.
Mm-hmm.
And Olivia sits down with you as she pulls up more of these displays. I haven't gotten a closer look, thanks to the work of the Ramos twins. I think it's time we make a move on Mr. King. Handle his operation in Seattle. We have plenty of agents to keep an eye on Portland while you're away.
Can't argue with that logic. Understood, Director.
Best of luck, Whitaker. Let's catch him.
Whitaker gives her a long look
Mm-hmm.
and takes the brief and leaves.
Okay.
That only took 20 minutes. Let's get everyone else done.
Yeah, a fast downtime mechanic.
Oh, God.
No full scenes.
Hey, it's faster than it could have been.
Yes, certainly.
Could have gone a lot longer.
Damien, what downtime roll would you like to make?
Damien is going to the moment. This is relaxation.
A relaxation roll. I love it. Hell yeah. That is a straight roll, no modifiers.
And that is an 8.
Okay. How do you foresee Damien's time at the moment being less than maybe what he hoped?
It was dubstep night and he prefers hard style.
Okay.
So the beats per minute is slower than he wants, but it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Listen, the struggle's real, okay?
Uh-huh. You're at the moment. It's, as you say, a not perfect night, but you're doing whatever. And as you're dancing, at one point, you bump into some, large minotaur who is there with a bunch of his buddies who are other various folk. And he says, "Hey, watch it, buddy."
Oh, sorry, man. Peace. Back to dancing.
You catch as he turns and he and his friend group move away from the spill and where you are. And he just says, They'll fucking let anyone in here these days. Can't believe they opened it to humans.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Hugo,
Yeah.
what's your downtime roll?
So he's going to take his mom and Anya to dinner. So I don't know what that would really fall under.
That is, I think, relationships.
Yeah.
She's meeting your mom.
Oh, that's a big introduction.
He's attempting to handle two birds with one stone, one of them meeting and also following up with his mom, given the stuff that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can argue with me to make this multiple things, although probably it's not training or paranormal. But any of the others, you could argue that it is that thing.
The main question is, do we want it to go well or not?
Well, hey, listen, I can't control what your stats are. That was choices we made in the past.
This is true. This is true.
If you want to argue that this is Hugo doing his job, I will just let you know that the result will reflect that being the focus of this experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but nah, let's risk it and see what happens.
Okay.
So it's charm, which historically never goes well.
Mm-hmm.
It did not go well.
No.
It's a 6.
Oh,
A 6.
Mark experience.
Oh, okay.
You bring your high-profile semi-significant other out to an event with your mother who...
There's also a high-profile political figure in the...
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a less private evening than you had hoped, meaning there's not a lot of room to like genuinely spend time with either of them because everything's being photographed through the windows of the restaurant. The wait staff are all on edge because they now know there's a bunch of attention on their, service that night, yada, yada, yada. Anya is kind about it, but I think as you drop her off for the evening, she just says, perhaps next time I'll host instead of going out.
Yeah, that probably would be better. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate the thought. Good night.
Night.
And she goes to maybe give you a kiss, but your mom is waiting in the car to also be dropped off, and she kind of okay, bye. Closes the door, goes into her apartment. As you are driving your mom back to her place, or she's driving you back to the community center. Your mom has a car. You have a bike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's driving you back to the community center, and then she'll be heading home. But she stops you as you go to get out of the car, and she says, Hugo, let's talk a minute.
That was kind of what the purpose of dinner was, but what's up?
She says, oh, my sweet boy, you have some things to learn about when conversations can be had. I have a friend. She's another CPA, like me. Her name's Iris Bashir, Chief of Paranormal Affairs up in Seattle. She tells me her city's in a bad way. I was wondering if you could do something about that.
I need you to be very clear with me on what you mean by do something about that.
She glances out at the community center and then to you, and you notice very clearly that she looks up and down to where the tattoos creep past your collar in the formal wear you're wearing, and the tattoo on the back of your hand of the eye with the spider web. And she says, now, sweetheart, I know you like to play at being pretty coy and slick sometimes, but I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't know what was going on in my city, would I?
That's why I asked you to be very specific.
Seem to recall you have some friends up in Seattle. I hear they're running a soup kitchen, but I imagine they might be doing some work after hours.
Yeah, soup for the family. That's one way to put it.
Well, you bring them a recipe. Help them clean up the house a little bit. You understand?
You're not dad, but yes, chef.
Be safe now.
We'll have a few more things to talk about later, I guess, but I'll see what I can do.
So will I. She drives away. Valentine.
Mm-hmm. I saw your face. I knew it was coming.
What role would you like to make during downtime?
Oh, I think considering that she found the bug
Mm-hmm.
and knows that the agents heard everything, it's got to be job and responsibilities. She's got to make sure that this job goes well, and that she walks away from it clean. So she's going to be spending her time preparing, and that means like scoping out the Lich's place. That means reviewing things that she might know about the Lich, probably also meeting her potential team. Just all the prep work. She's got to be the literal mastermind of this heist, so she's gonna come correct.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Jobs is plus cool.
That is double 4s plus a 1 makes a 9.
Okay. Do you have anything in mind as a complication or a hiccup that you experience?
I think the complication is it's got more to do with the team. Maybe not the best first impression.
Sure.
She's a little on edge.
Yeah, I think Meridian calls you in, lets you select from a bunch of people, but like none of them quite vibe with you. Probably doesn't help that Vanessa is there and is like pushing your buttons the whole time.
Yeah.
I think also at one point you get a little too into the planning stages and end up staying at the rookery a little longer than you intended. Whitaker.
Oh, bitch.
Buddy, I just talked for 20 minutes. You can't.
But she can. She can and she will.
Whitaker, you see Valentine at the rookery. You're there to relax, but she's there.
You can tell that she's like running some kind of calculations in her head. She's not the type to like write out all of her plans on a paper or whatever. She's smarter than that.
She's in her mind palace, gesturing around.
Yeah. But like genuinely, yeah, she's kind of just, it's more like she's like drawing on like the table with her finger almost while she sips on a cup of cold black coffee. It doesn't even register anymore that it's cold because she's just thinking so much and this has to go well.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little late for coffee, don't you think? Whitaker takes a seat beside her.
She twitches her head in a way that like someone would if they were going to like jump in their seat. Her head is still like tilted down slightly, so she looks up at Whitaker through her lashes, right? Like normally looking through your lashes is like a flirty thing. In this case, she's just kind of like glowering at him.
Hey, he's not even looking at her. He looks like he just came from a funeral.
Ooh, yep.
What do you want?
I want a drink, Valentine. I want to drink, and I want to drink somewhere without you ruining my night.
The door is downstairs. She's trying to keep it together, the fact that like he knows the name Valentine, but I'm pretty sure Meridian called her that.
Yeah, if Meridian called her that, then yeah, he knows.
She has like the quick thought of how does he know the name? All right, he was listening to me.
Yep.
Great. She just gives him an indignant look.
I also want to establish, in case this is something you want to either give or hold on to, I'm going to say that the receivers, Whitaker, are not recorders.
Yeah, that's why he was writing stuff down.
Exactly, but that also means that during the fight at the bay, you missed the conversation between Ops and Valentine.
I'm down with that. That's fine by me.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah,
ooh.
you know, I like that. I think that works out very well.
This is a gift.
A gift for you, Mel.
Thank you for this gift. It's not even my birthday.
Anyway, you had said to Whitaker, door's down there.
Yeah. Door's right downstairs.
I'm not moving. Not tonight.
Natalie, remind me, does the rookery serve alcohol?
It can, yeah. It has like a bar and like a full restaurant.
Yeah, and it's late.
It's a cafe only in the sense that like you can get pastry and things from the counter pretty quickly, but it's a full kitchen.
Okay, it's like cafe and bistro. She just kind of like looks up a little bit more. How crowded is it tonight?
It's a typical night. The rookery is a popular place, but it's not like packed to the gills and it's not dead.
She'll flag down Jules, lean over to her, looking a little tired, a little grumpy. Do me a favor, put in an order for 2 whiskeys on the rocks.
Do you alter the order, Whitaker?
No. He's like, Whitaker's mouth tightens in a way of like, yeah, I was going to order whiskey on the rocks.
Jules says, I'm going to see some... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no, I got it.
and we'll go and put the order in.
Rude.
I think Valentine's reaction is to like look down at her hands and just like smirk just a little bit.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Guess you missed those days, huh?
Not really. How old are you then?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would actually.
You can guess.
Better question then. How long you been at this for?
A while.
Long enough to keep the records scrambled, certainly.
It's been a long, long while.
How long were you working with Salem?
Couple years. He's asking her all these questions about how long she's been at this, how long she's been working with Salem, and I think she tacks on something along the lines of, I'm sure I'm not the first person you've met who would say, there's not much for me beyond this life, especially when it's all I've ever known. You seemed to learn a lot the other night. How much did you get?
Can I have my hairpin back?
Sorry, I threw it out. I don't like bugs.
I heard about your plan. I know you're gonna do a run on Harkness.
And what about ops? Did you catch that?
Ooh.
Oh, there's a very tasty scenario here.
Whitaker frowns a bit and takes a sip of the whiskey. Might have missed that bit.
Mel, I'm going to message you something.
Oh God, Natalie's typing. I'm anxious.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're so correct for that.
Take it away.
I've got a bit of dirt on ops that I think you might find pretty interesting. But only if you can look the other way while I do this job.
I am going to be out of town. You have 3 days to get this done.
Do I give him the information now or do I give it to him when he gets back from vacation?
I would save it. He's agreeing to your offer. I think Val would save it.
Cool. Yeah, she sits back in her seat.
Tell Meridian it was a favor from me.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Emery,
that's sexy.
that fucks so hard.
Yeah, I think we just end it there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Took us a bit, but we found it.
We did it. It took a little bit to cook, but we got there.
These two.
Ugh.
Holy shit. Yes, that's exactly right. Done.
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 Wrapped up in a neat little bow.
Perfect.
Holy shit. Raven, what do you do during downtime?
This poor girl.
Oh.
She's trying to relax. We're going to see how it goes.
Okay. Relaxation roll. No modifiers.
Okay. It's a 7.
Okay.
Could have been worse. With no modifiers, could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of have an idea since this is so simple.
Please, take the camera. I put you through enough.
Keep it cute.
I think she purposely tries to spend some time for herself and relaxing. She'll go visit her family for a little bit. She'll spend some time at the diner. She'll spend some time in the real spot in Autumn Falls by the springs. And I think it works to a certain degree. Like some things she really is kind of feeling refreshed. She's sleeping better. But I think there's just so much still rattling around in her head that she's never able to fully, totally let go and relax, you know? She's not having nightmares anymore, but in a lot of her free time where her mind wanders, I think she's still kind of chewing on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
She's thinking about the mission. She's thinking about the casino. She's thinking about the fight with the sea people. She's thinking about part of Aiden's spark being in her. She's got so much to worry about.
Yeah. It's almost impossible not to let your mind wander to some problem.
Yeah. Every time it wanders, it like ping pongs off of one of so many things. Like, oh, right, that's the thing. What the hell was up with that dragon? Like, she just can't escape all of them at the same time.
Yeah. Raven has been through a lot recently.
Yeah.
I think it's smart of her to like actually prioritize herself for a couple days after a very harrowing experience in Dream.
Yeah. She's got some things that she wants to do and people she might want to reach out to, but like it's just, she's not quite there yet. She needs to take this time first.
Yeah. I think Aiden specifically gives you space if you want it from her.
Mhm.
She's around, she'll check in now and then.
I think they spend a lot of time together at home, but I think a lot of her going out is kind of just her taking time by herself to like try and treat herself.
Yeah.
It's not that she doesn't want to be around Aiden. It's just like, no, you go do other stuff. I'm just going to hang out by myself for a little bit and I'll see you when I get home and we'll spend time together.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, there's no like stress there. It's just she can tell you're taking time to process, and I think wants to respect that need to like have time to rest. We'll leave it at that for now. Amity.
I have 2 potential ideas. One is to spend time with Mira. The other is to try to teach Damien the magic that she knows.
Ooh, okay.
Because if Aiden's gonna tell her that she can't be helpful to her agent friends, she's gonna find a loophole. It's a little bit spiteful, but it's also, Damien clearly has an interest in magic, and so she's gonna try to nurture that as a way to indirectly help her friends.
We had talked about you getting a job as a teacher at the community center.
Yeah.
Do you want to pursue that?
I think she starts with one-on-one lessons with Damien to decide if she will be a good teacher.
Then I think that it is training.
Okay. I was wondering if it would be paranormal because it's magic, so weird, but...
No, paranormal is a weird thing happens to you, not you're doing weird things.
Ah.
Big difference.
Interesting. So I have to roll this with tough. That's going to be so funny. Okay. What is Amity's tough? Oh, you know what? I don't know why I'm concerned. She's got a +2.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, training Damien isn't going to be like a super easy thing. So it is going to be physically demanding and take all day.
That is fair. She did roll a 10, though.
Okay.
Ooh.
Damien, Amity comes and offers to train you in some spell work and actually manages to have some breakthroughs. You two tell me what that looks like. You have a breakthrough with magic, Damien, because of this. And I will even go so far as to say, if you want to add a rote to your hex moves, you may. But I'm also happy to let this be a thing that pushes Damien forward on his path in his magical journey. If there's a philosophical breakthrough of some kind that you want to have happen here.
His big issue right now with magic is that his spells are ritual based. And, when someone's like, oh man, we need some time sensitive and powerful, that's not Damien. Damien is out of combat and give me 5 minutes and a whole bunch of tools.
I have an idea. I think Amity teaches him about correspondences, specifically magical correspondences, ingredients, kind of explains her process of how she prepares a variety of different ingredients that fuel a lot of basic magic. And since Damien does a lot of food stuff, her explanation of it is you have to look at the ingredients of the food. If you use chocolate, what makes chocolate chocolate, right? It's cocoa powder, it's milk, it's sugar. Each of those has a property, Damien. So if you consider the property of the piece that becomes part of this food, you can then fuel it into the magic that you're casting.
So I could use cocoa beans instead of chocolate.
You could technically, yeah, but chocolate's a little more accessible.
For sure. And tastes way better.
The point is, consider all that makes up what you're using in your spell casting, and that'll tell you what results you're gonna get.
I mean, I was kind of hoping the magic lessons would involve less books and studying, but I also figured it was going to end up involving books and studying. So that's, fair enough.
It's a good 50-50. Sorry.
You gotta become a labels guy. You gotta read the nutrition facts on everything.
Yeah, we gotta get him a label maker.
You gotta do the cooking by the book.
No.
All right, cool. If you want to narratively describe Damien with the now ability to fast cast some stuff and change up the flavor his food magic has when you are casting things, I think we're good to make that breakthrough for you, Damien.
Sweet.
Good job, Amity.
Yeah.
Yay, helped.
Pretty good at this. Okay, I think for Aiden's downtime roll, she's going to roll relationships with her -1 charm.
Oh.
Wow. Dice, fuck you.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
Did the dice say you were too mean to us last time?
They did. They really did. That's a 1.
Whoa.
Total?
Yeah.
Girl. Oh, honey.
Oh.
Oh, sweetheart.
You
You got a luck point?
I don't think we can spend luck points on this downtime mechanic.
You're the GM. You get to make the rules.
It's your rules.
You made it up.
Yeah, you know what? I am the rules, and I need a scene to happen and move the story along. So fuck that roll.
Now he said, I do what I want.
I do what I want. In some cases, I need scenes to happen so that we can have fun and not be sad anymore.
Yeah, we gotta cry first and then we can have
Please.
fun.
Aiden deserves this.
My dice want her to be sad, but we're gonna let some healing happen.
Sad healing angel TM.
Teachable moment. This is a classic case where I should not have placed the progression of the plot behind a die roll. Adventurers, if you're a GM, don't do this to yourself or your players. And if you mess up, you can always walk something back for the sake of everyone having fun. Don't come for me over this, adventurers. All right, Amity.
Yeah.
You get a text from Aiden, and it says, I'm sorry I lost my cool. We should talk at some point. Do you want to go to therapy?
The response back is, I appreciate that. Are you sure it's a good idea to involve Vivian? Especially if I was doing stuff that was technically illegal? Won't she have to report me?
Above the table.
Yeah.
Do you want someone else? And if so, who? Because if you don't care, then I have an answer. Like if you want it to be Raven or Whitaker.
I was gonna say Whitaker.
Okay.
That feels smarter than Raven. I would not.
No,
I would not elect Raven for this.
Bring the father into the equation.
because Raven is a little more biased towards Aiden.
Yeah.
With good reason. And she's also kind of mad at Amity.
She would make a good mediator for this.
No.
Sure.
No, she wouldn't. No offense.
No, I would be uncomfortable with Raven being this person for this conversation.
So then I will give you Aiden's answer, but you can suggest Whitaker in character.
Sure.
She says, I think it would be covered under doctor-patient confidentiality, but if you had someone else in mind.
Maybe Whitaker? Question mark? If we feel like we need to continue the conversation further, then maybe we can bring Vivian in.
Whitaker, you get a similar text from Aiden. Hey, I need to talk to Amity. Would you mind being there?
Do you need me to say anything, or am I just there for support?
I just want someone there in case either of us get emotional.
Of course.
It'd be nice to have someone who's pretty grounded.
Can do, Aiden. Let me know when you need me.
All right. You guys set up a time to meet. Where do you want this to happen, Amity? I'll let you choose location since Aiden's initiating.
Oh, I feel like it should be in a park. It shouldn't be at either of their houses.
Neutral territory.
Yeah. Like, it should be somewhere that feels neutral, out in nature, somewhere quiet. Maybe do they go on a hike and talk out their feelings?
Aww.
Is that the vibe?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm down for this vibe.
Okay. Honestly, you guys could go around the trail or on Silver Lake.
Yeah. No, perfect. Love that.
Okay. We can cut to you sort of waiting at the trailhead, and there's a flash, and Whitaker and Aiden appear.
She's standing there with her staff, nervously wringing her hands around it. Whisper is sort of like walking in slow circles around her feet.
Pacing.
And I think they were kind of like looking at the ground a little bit, and then they just kind of like parked their head up. Hi.
Good to see you, Amity.
It's good to see you too.
Aiden gives a little wave in a way that's even more shy than she can sometimes come across as. Hey, thanks for coming. I'm glad you picked this spot.
It's nice.
It's familiar.
Should we walk for a second?
Yeah.
I think they like walk for maybe like a couple minutes in awkward silence. Like, I don't know, maybe Whitaker needs to like egg Aiden on to like
Yeah, sure.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if Amity sort of pulls ahead for a little bit, Whitaker will just sort of take her hand a bit. How do you want to start this?
I don't know. I guess We just have to start, and then it'll feel easier.
Just gotta get over that first hurdle. You'll be fine.
She'll squeeze your hand and then go to catch up to Amity. And as she jogs up, she says, I was out of line.
I mean, I kind of was too. You guys have big agency jobs now and everything's different.
Still, I'm sorry I've been pushing you out since you got back. I know what it feels like to get left behind.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's part of it. It's been really hard coming back. I'm sorry for being so pushy. Nothing about this feels normal. Not that it ever was, but we spent so much time together. We all changed. And I didn't get to change with you guys. And I didn't get to be there for you when you... She stops on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns and looks at Aiden, like squares up. I saw what happened in Atlantic City. And when things got crazy at the docks, I didn't want to watch you die again.
She puts a hand on your shoulder, gives it a little squeeze. Neither did I. We're more alike than you think, Amity. But the biggest thing I've been worried about since you got back is how long you're going to stick around this time. I keep losing you too. And it doesn't get easier, Amity. The world is finally in a place where you could live a normal life.
Except I can't.
Well, easier than before. Magic is everywhere.
I'm not sure if I feel more like a weirdo now versus back then. Because at least back then, I could just tell a few people that I trusted and no one expected me to like follow any weird laws. There's a lot of extra rules around like what I'm allowed to do now. And it's frustrating. You guys don't want me to join the agency. And I get that I'm a conduit, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. And I want to help because I don't want to be useless.
She takes a couple steps and like puts her hands on her hips to like think about what you're saying. Amity, do you think you're useless if you're not putting yourself in danger? Would it be so bad just to be safe for a while? The first thing you did when you came back was throw yourself into a situation with some of the most dangerous criminals in the city. Those are the types of people who would try to take advantage of you and your powers. Is fighting really what you want to do? I get it. There's a lot of things that it feels good to fight back against. I just know what it costs.
I'm trying to think of how to respond to that.
Whitaker, if you got anything, you can jump in too. You're here too.
Yeah, you are allowed. You have express permission.
It's tough because the two of you are taking issues with two separate things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I think he might, I think he'll step forward. I think he will say that. To cut through the noise a bit, I think the two of you are looking at this from two completely different angles. Amity, I know folks who practice magic, and poorly, dangerously. We've been dealing with them for the past 2 years. It's not really a matter of doing magic. I think at this point it's pretty clear to me that you just are magic. So when you're put in this position to have your very being interrogated and put through bureaucracy, to have to defend that, I think you have the right to decline that process and to not want to go through that. Aiden, there's no version of reality in which you can keep your child from doing things that put them in danger and worrying about them. That's just what parenting is. God, that's been every situation with Damien for the past 2 years. He didn't even know how to brush his own fucking teeth at the start of it. Do you know how fucking hard it is to teach the once slime that your body is breakable and fragile again? To get so nervous when he picks up a fucking knife in the kitchen. Everything is always going to feel like the most dangerous thing.
I think Amity cuts in. I took my time away and learned everything that I learned because I wanted to come back stronger for everyone. I was really confused and lost. Nana Margie and Merlin and Morgan and Gilly, they were really helpful. And I want to put what they've taught me to good use. And I know you're scared of losing me. Newsflash, I'm human. It's gonna happen someday.
Obviously, I don't want to lose you. But more than that, I don't want you to end up like me, Amity. Everything I do for other people. I was made to look after everyone. That's what it means to be the first light. Vivian says that it isn't fair. And maybe it's not, but it's part of me. It's in every fiber of me. But you have a choice. And I want to make sure you're able to choose yourself sometimes.
Aiden, if you're so busy protecting everybody else, who's going to protect you?
For a moment, our camera sees what Aiden sees. As you say these things, Amity, we see a layered image. First, a tall warrior woman with a sword strapped to her back, then a young girl with long blonde hair and a loose braid, and then Amity in your cozy but practical witch's garb. Aiden blinks away the echoes of Freya and Aisling as her eyes tear up. She recalls hearing the same sentiment ages ago. Who's going to protect you, Aiden? Sometimes you sound just like her. I shouldn't be surprised at this point.
Aiden, you and I both remember when Amity first started using magic. Recklessly, dangerously, even. And I remember when that was a pressing concern. But at this point, from the sound of it, Amity has gotten maybe some of the best magical training possible. So yes, it's going to be dangerous, but I don't think there's a version of reality in which they are more prepared. And I think if this is something Amity wants to do, this is the best way to do it as of right now.
You have to find your own path. I can't tell you what to do. Just consider, coming from someone who's lived this life, this fight, it's not easy. It can be such a challenge.
It doesn't have to be. I don't know, tag me in. Let me take some of the weight off. Aiden, I can do it. Don't be my mom right now, be my friend.
She steps forward and will go to give you a hug, if you'll accept it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stop being the first thing. I will try to be better at the second. Whatever you choose to do, I know you are going to make us all proud. I love you so much.
I love you too. I'm really sorry I wasn't there.
She pats the top of your head, squeezes you super tight. It's okay. We're okay. It worked out in the end.
Yeah.
And you see her wings manifest. Then a second set. Her glow warms from her chest to yours. I think we both need to stop torturing ourselves over what we missed.
I don't know, fam. That's a big fucking ass for Amity.
I know. She says, if you want to tap in, it'd be nice to have some help.
She just kind of nods. There's a lot of crying. It's a little hard to talk right now.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I don't think they say much of anything. I think they just give Aiden another hug.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come out of the hug, they look over at Whitaker and goes over and gives him a hug too.
Oh. He hugs you back and sort of whispers to you, I was always proud of you, Amity.
Thanks. Do you guys want to get some waffles?
Sounds good.
Okay, great.
You want to finish the walk first?
Sure.
You guys head up the trail, do a loop around the lake. When you come back, you can go to the Maple Leaf.
For half that rest of the walk, she's cradling Whisper in her arms and sort of just like petting him as some emotional self-regulation coming down from this very big conversation.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Woo. Downtime.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Relaxing
So relaxing.
for everybody involved.
All right.
Hi, adventurers. Anyone else a blubbering mess right now? It's okay. It's all good. Let's all just take a big breath. And we'll shake off the tears with some mid-episode announcements. First up, we want to give a big thank you to our friends Jason, Tyler, Amelia, and Phil from Memester of the Week for reprising their roles as the Seattle Eastie Agency team. Thanks for bringing a little extra life and personality to our world, guys. Our promo swap this week is with Chosen Ones, a visual novel-style D&D podcast that is a collaboration between several artists and storytellers, following the tale of 4 Sparks, aka potential Chosen Ones, as they work to discover who the next Chosen One might be. Let's take a listen to their trailer.
You have a spark. It's quite rare for humans to have one.
Well, I have one.
There's a program. Surely during your studies, the chosen few was brought up at least once. Would you like to be something more than yourself?
I'm hoping that I'm a chosen one that everyone can believe in.
We'll be watching you. We always are.
Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. The matter that binds us makes such a mess.
You're still in Act 1. Do better, though.
I'm trying.
We're all lucky to have met each other.
Oh, we sound like anime boys.
You do.
No kidding.
Chosen Ones is an LGBTQ visual novel style D&D actual play on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok at Chosen Ones D&D. Come find your spark.
You can catch Chosen Ones wherever you get your podcasts, but to get the full visual novel effect, check them out on YouTube. And feel free to look them up on various socials at Chosen Ones D&D. We still have a lot going on this summer, adventurers. This weekend, I'm dragging Natalie and Brittany to FlameCon to engage in some extra gay geekery. If you happen to be there, say hi. Also, heads up, West Coast friends, PAX West is right around the corner. You can catch Natalie, Durs, and a few extra friends at tabletop booth 4004 in the Summit building, or at one of the multiple panels we're hosting throughout the weekend. Go get your gay cryptid merch, say hello, and remind Natalie and Durs to drink water and have some snacks for me because I won't be there to nag them. Thank you! If you feel like throwing your dollars at us for funsies while helping to fund future projects, check out our Patreon. We'll say thank you by giving you access to an exclusive section of our community Discord, share behind-the-scenes content, as well as bonus content like our new talkback show, Good Morning Autumn Falls. Patreon.com/The Storyteller Squad. Of course, money isn't the only way to show us your support. Word of mouth is one of the best ways to get more friends listening to the show. If you want to scream our names from the virtual rooftops of the internet, follow us on our socials. There's tons of content to share with your friends, like clips from the show, convention appearances, and the occasional community memes, always shared with permission by our Discord community. We're just about everywhere, and always under the handle @StorySquadCast. And lastly, if you decide to leave us a 5-star rating or review on your favorite podcast app, thank you so much. It's always super encouraging to know that we're making work that you enjoy. That's all I've got for you. Remember to hydrate this summer, adventurers. It is hot out there. Take care of yourselves, and let's get back into the show. Bye-bye.
We cut to a different day, a different city, Seattle, Washington. Hustle and bustle of this city lined with trees on nearly every street, tall glass buildings reflecting the green of their foliage. And ever since the revelation, trees are a little bigger here. All the nature here has gotten a little harder to tame. We see root clusters growing over hydrants that have to be chipped away at occasionally to maintain access. We see formerly manicured sections of grass or hedges which have just been abandoned by their gardeners for lack of an ability to tame them as they flourish with the presence of magic and more folk in the city. But we cut to a street corner, a clearing in an area of the city where we see two figures shoving one another. One of them, a sort of shorter, young masculine person, tight side shave and then some curls up top, says to the other, who is this more gangly person with a baseball cap flipped backwards and sort of thin blonde hair streaking down beneath it, a little bit of stubble on their face. The first one says, "I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen him." And the one with the hat sort of continues to press, and they say, "Bullshit, man. You were hanging around with him. He got one of those stupid marks, and now he's gone. What happened?" This other person says, "You can't pin that on me, dude. I have no idea what you're talking about." And the one with the hat reaches into a pocket. The other one gets very defensive, and we see something start to glow on their wrist. And the one reaching into their pocket pulls out a crackling, sickly green gem.
Oh, bitch.
Clasps it in their hand, and their eyes start to glow with this green energy. And they say, "You're gonna tell me where he is." And the shorter figure squares up, ready to fight. And as they do, we see their sweatshirt drop down on their arm, and on their wrist and forearm, sigils start to light up. And he says, "You don't want to do this, man." The one with the hat says, "You think that thing makes you special? I've got a new kind of heat."
Oh no.
And snaps their finger, the hand holding the gem, and a fireball explodes between the two of them, knocking the other back.
Oh.
We cut to an aerial view of the city as we hear sirens going off. We see people fleeing the block where these two have started to fight. We cut to a news report as a local van is there sort of trying to document what's going on. And we see the one in the sweatshirt with the side shave get pushed back, their feet digging into the asphalt of the road as though they weigh a lot more than they would appear to. Part of their shirt has been burned away, revealing that the whispered tattoos have traveled from their wrist up the arm, around the shoulder, and seem to be covering some of the pectoral and down their back as well. We see they throw a hand out, and one of these hydrants covered in the roots suddenly starts to creak and groan, and the cap of it is torn away, and water sprays outwards and strikes the person with the Philosopher's Stone, who sort of just thrusts this gemstone ahead of them to create a barrier and starts to slowly walk towards this person with the tattoos. A full-on magical brawl is taking place in the streets of Seattle. Rogue Team, you respond. What would you like to do?
Oh shit, we're here?
You're here.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Oh boy. I am not prepared for this.
All right, we've got the fire hydrant going. Is there any other, like, big explosions happening? Like, actually, first big question. Any pedestrians immediately in danger?
A ton. They're fleeing into shops, away from shops, down streets. It's bedlam.
All right, Whitaker is going to set up a perimeter.
That would be a protect someone roll.
It's an 11 with tough. That is a full success.
Hell yeah.
Incredible. We see as the person with the stone, as they continue to like march forward, pressing the water back and deflecting it, they turn their head to one of the telephone electrical poles and flex their hand that is not holding the stone, and electricity begins to crackle at the transformer and shoot down into the water, which is being sprayed away by their shield, but is now arcing all over the place. one of the coiling arcs of lightning leaves the water and strikes the person with that tattoo, and they are sort of knocked back. But another one courses across the crosswalk of this intersection where they're now fighting, and looks like it's about to strike a bunch of pedestrians as they begin to flee. And we see whooshing, the sword of Damocles catches this lightning bolt, and it deflects up into another one of the Transformers, grounding the bolt as it is parried away by Whitaker.
Get back to 4th Street, now. Take people with you.
People move, they try and help each other up. There's lots of scrambling. People are dropping their things as they were, here in the district shopping. We see the person with the tattoo hits the ground, and like a smoking char mark is now in their chest. But we see their whispered tattoos pulse. They encircle that blast, and it suddenly heals. But we see the tattoo creep further across their chest and down their abdomen as they sort of just like tear away the rest of their shirt. Whoa. And kit back up to start fighting more.
Aiden, Raven, secure the crystal. You don't have to listen to me. If you got things to do, just do them.
Please give orders. You're team leader.
There's only so many things we can do in this situation, which is crowd control and get the stone away from the guy using it.
I'm gonna roll act under pressure for Aiden.
Can I roll use magic for Raven?
What are you gonna do?
I want to have her be using a spirit power coming into this fight, and I just want to see if I get to pick or not.
Sure.
Oh, that's an 11.
Nice.
Honestly, I was gonna put her in the honeybee armor.
Classic.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. It's very familiar, so when she's just like running into an unknown kind of situation, it's an easy one to put on. It's very versatile.
Suit up into quick. Yep.
Yeah. So she comes zooming in.
I like that. With a 6 on the die and a +3 cool, Aiden gets a 9 to act under pressure, so there will be a price. We hear Whitaker give the order, Aiden, Raven, get it away from him, and swooping over Whitaker, like down and then over the top of him. She goes and tries to like disarm the person with the Philosopher's Stone by like putting their arm in a lock. She gets control of that stone, and there is a pulse.
Oh no.
That she experiences, and she alone. And has to drop it and literally falls back onto the cement. So the person now has let go of the stone. She's able to wrest it away from them. The shield disappears. The water from the hydrant slams into them, knocks them back, and she sort of is on the ground under the spray of the water, getting like drenched as she kind of just is gripping her hand that grabbed the stone briefly.
Can Raven swoop in to pull Aiden out of the blast of water?
Sure.
She'll come through and grab her up under the arms and just get her out of the way of the water so she's not getting hit with it anymore. Sit her up, make sure she's okay.
Do you want to try and get the stone?
Yes.
It's on the ground.
I would love to. Yeah, if it's close by. Priority 1 is like get Aiden's face out of the water in case she's unconscious. Priority 2 is the stone.
Yeah, she again, she's not being like hit by the water. It's like it's spraying past her and she's kind of like half under it,
Oh, okay.
And they're right next to each other. However, the person with the tattoos is sort of stepping forward, and with every step they take, the ground in front of them like raises as they create pillars of earth that they are using to like leap up. Whoa. And as they leap off the last one, they bring their hands up over their head, and the earth that they had created these pillars out of is drawn to them and forms like a large makeshift hammer formed of debris that they are about to bring down as their eyes glow white down onto the person who is attacking them with the stone.
And that's when you see a bit of a lasso being whipped around and gets thrown and caught around his hand. So as he goes down to smash with the big hammer, his hands get caught. And I like the magic effect of trapping a person in place.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea of a like pasta lasso, right? To stick with the food theming.
Oh my God, an actual spaghetti western.
Can I just throw really salted wet spaghetti at him and that just like entangles on spot?
Oh my God, like a pre-portioned pasta like bowl.
The longest linguine you've ever seen.
The thing they do in restaurants where they like make the pasta a little thing and it's like frozen on the trays, and you just grab a little bundle of it, throw it in for each meal.
Yeah, a little pasta nest.
Got it pre-portioned for different spells.
Right, yeah. A little like pasta pre-packed thing. Oh, that's great. Roll plus your magic as you quick cast for the first time on screen.
I think my weird's only 2. Shit.
This is the first time he's quick cast.
2's fine. 2 is a perfectly fine modifier.
Oh, no, weird is 3. No, we're good. Total 7.
Yeah, baby.
He's been practicing.
Good to go.
Yeah. So yeah, we see you this person like goes to swing down and their arms are stopped and they're kind of like and yanked back and the debris just sort of scatters, lands all over the street. And when they hit the ground, their arms are quickly like bound over their shoulder. Their legs are tied up as this like spaghetti like trap just sort of wraps and confines them.
Yes.
Welcome to the Storyteller Squad, where we literally throw spaghetti at the walls.
Does come with a glitch. What is it? For your 7.
What's the drawing attention to yourself?
Ooh, immediate unwelcome attention?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I think... We'll get to it. This can be a consequence I apply to the group. Anywho, the person who had the stone gets up and goes to take off. They have not restrained, they just got bowled over by the water. So they see that y'all have intervened and are now going to try and get out of here.
And they don't seem to care about the stone. They're just leaving.
They see a very powerful looking woman in bee armor has picked it up. So they are, they're taking off.
Can I throw another can of pasta at him?
You can if you want, or I mean, I'd like not to repeat the move.
I do kind of like that his pockets are just full of these little spaghetti nests that like explode into little net traps. It's the only spell he prepared today.
It's like that stupid fucking Tumblr post.
No, I mean, I can take the miss for the sake of, not repeating the spell, but I just... he's getting away. It's just Damien's yeeting stuff at him.
Sure. We could say as you're like trying to find another ingredient prepackaged thing that would be like appropriate.
At this time, we do not have Hugo or Amity with us.
You do not.
This is just the official rogue team.
Official rogue team has been sent to Portland by Olivia Easty to deal with exactly this, the problem of these dangerous components.
Whitaker is already pushing people back and getting folks away. So if the person's running off, he will be running directly towards Whitaker. Or at least Whitaker will be able to catch them if they try to make a break for the scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to try to intercept them.
Act under pressure to chase and run after someone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this is there's quite a bit of distance, right? Like you were helping crowds and you see Raven trying to get Aiden to come around. Damien is dealing with the person he just trapped in pasta. And then this other person who is part of the altercation is just a block or two down already. However, how do we do?
I'm going to tap into a little bit of the sword power. I got an 11, baby. We're good.
Super soldier magic sword Whitaker just starts tearing down the street, fucking going for this guy.
Can I try to throw the sword like a little magical boomerang? Throw it, have it come back to try and trip him up or something?
Ooh, interesting. I like that you are using the sword's ability to push yourself. I suppose this almost could have been one of your weird roles, the no limits.
Yeah, we can also save actually calling the sword back for a more fun time.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. I just catch up to him.
I think what you see, Whitaker, you're pulling on the sword, but he maybe ducks down a side street. So you're like, oh crap, I'm gonna lose visual. But you make it around the corner just in time, and you see this guy as he trips and falls to the ground. And you can see in an alley with their hand reached out and a glowing tattoo on their wrist is another young person with a red beanie and long dark locks sort of peeking out from underneath it, and a pretty rough looking denim coat, it's seen a couple really rough winters. They've got fingerless gloves, and this person with deep caramel freckles over a medium brown skin is using whispered magic to cause one of the shrubs on the sidewalk to reach out and grab this guy's foot and trip him up.
Oh.
And they see you turn the corner and look kind of panicked, and they cover their tattoo and run off and leave this guy here.
Oh, I think Whitaker, he probably starts to call something after them, but decides, all right, not worth it. We're going to bag this guy.
Yeah. Illegal use of magic, no permit, a controlled substance, Yeah. You apprehend this guy. We cut to you guys handing these two off to local authorities, but if there's any questions you want to ask of either of them before the Eastie Agency jurisdiction is handed over, let me know.
I do want to ask, do we have some kind of procedure at this point for these stones? Like, I imagine there's kind of almost like bomb squad with like a box or something that we can put these in if they're that dangerous. We like hand it over and they put it in some kind of like safe container to transport it away.
Yeah, I suppose so. There would be like a local Eastie unit here in Seattle that would be like responding. Maybe it's Agent Mulligan and their team have been like permanently stationed up here in Seattle. And so like you see Virgil, the construct, come over and they've got like an attachment on one of their large homunculus arms that is just like a little sealed glass jar. It's like, and it kind of like locks the crystal in place. They tip their little cowboy hat and sort of place the whole thing under their large poncho to conceal it from sight.
Damn. Impressive work, y'all. I can take that off your hands, Agent Eugenia.
Love that guy.
I love them.
Mulligan will look to you, Whitaker, and he says,
"Thanks for coming to back us up, Whitaker. I've been telling HQ we've needed the reinforcements for weeks. We can take the component back to our evidence locker and process these two if you don't mind staying on patrol. There's 4 other reports that came in already, so pick your poison, I suppose."
Well, we'll try to get through as many as possible.
I can get you in touch with Miss Bashir. She's the CPA. Whenever you'd like a meeting.
As soon as possible.
Alrighty. Take care.
Laura West, one of the other Eastie agents, moving the person who had the stone into like an agency holding vehicle, and you see just one of her arms becomes a very like reptilian 3-clawed thing that just like hooks their clothes and lifts them up and then places them on a seat. Her voice gets very like gruff. She says, "Sit down." As she like closes the door and turns, you see she kind of shakes that hand and it like goes back to normal and blinks, and like the one eye that had gotten scaly and reptilian also like phases back to normal.
No, you can't eat them. We still need to gather clues.
She's awesome. All of our coworkers are awesome. So cool. Love being in a new city and meeting all these people.
Mulligan Lake is just a guy. He's just a normal dude. But he's got some pretty wacky members on his team, same as you, Whitaker.
Every team needs just a guy.
Yep.
It's very important. When he said there was other sightings, did he mean like actively right now, or like there has been sightings in the city recently? Like there's a lot of, just like in terms of urgency, are there places we should go right now that are things happening, or there have been things in the city lately?
Well, I kind of did mean it as like active things. I was like, okay, if you want to go respond, you could. But I think maybe we don't need to depict that. We can just say that like, and you guys pick another one and go after that to try and like take care of that issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aiden will kind of like shake off the effect, and she's like, "Okay, so I'm not touching one of those things again. Someone else is going to have to go for the next one."
Is this a celestial thing? What is that?
It was the same as the stone Salem had.
Yeah, you can be all right.
I'll be fine. I just shouldn't be the one handling them.
All right, that's fine. Raven, you're touching crystals now. That's your job.
Got it. Yeah, they don't seem to do anything to any of us. As long as we don't activate them, we should be fine.
She will tap her earpiece, and she says, "Channel 4, I'm going to get visual," and takes off into the sky.
I mean, to be fair, Raven, no one's let me hold one of them yet, so we don't know what would happen.
And you know what? We're not going to find out today.
You guys have been in this city since 7 a.m. It is 2 in the afternoon. This has been your whole day.
And no one's let me touch a crystal.
Somehow we keep letting Aiden try to touch them, and it keeps happening where it affects her.
Damien, you got to be 21 before you can get stoned.
Narc.
Wow. Raven takes off after Aiden onto the next scene.
Whitaker and Damien hop on the motorcycle and sidecar and down the street.
Let's go, baby.
All right. We are going to cut over to a different section of Portland at a bus station. The bus is pulling away, and we see one Hugo Rashad there with a backpack, maybe a little suitcase, just sort of stepping off the bus. What do?
Has he already like determined logic and stuff for his stay and everything, or is he just like going?
I think you might be looking for someone to meet you here.
Oh, well, let's look around a bit.
Okay. You glance around and you feel a tiny pebble hit the back of your shoulder. And if you turn around, you see across the street, a couple levels up in a parking garage, you see Mercedes, a young woman who has a dark black pixie cut and just a single like tattooed line that goes from under her bangs down one side of her face past her eye and ends just like at her cheekbone. And she is standing across the way, multiple stories up in this parking garage, pointing finger guns at you, and then puts her hand on her two arms folded and just gives you a little like head nod like, "Sup, Hugo Rashad?"
Did you really have to do that from all the way up there? Really?
I wanted to see if he'd catch it. You getting slow or something? Appearing in like a blink step, giving you like another little tap on your shoulder is Fernanda. Her getup is very like tech-aware stealth. A full like face mask on. We can see like dark hair that's dyed into blonde in the front and also a blonde ponytail, sort of loose and coming out the hood on one side. She's mostly covered up, but we can see like on her fingers where the two that she tapped you with, there are little glyphs that run down the two of those. And maybe also like a tiny little mark beneath one eye. You're in our city now, Hugo. You got to stay sharp or get got out here.
And without turning around, you see, of all the people, I could have sworn you, at least Fernanda, wouldn't do me like that. Really?
We haven't had a lot of time for fun. Someone coming to visit is the best excuse to blow off some steam.
Right. Okay.
And you hear, "Wahoo!" and like leaping from like behind the building you're standing in front of and landing in front of you now. And then standing up with a bright smile on her face is Gabriella. She is wearing a bunch of like athletic clothes, the springiest of sneakers. And we can see a lot of tattoos in between like where her shorts cut off and like the socks she's wearing running down her legs. But because she's got a tank top on, we see that there are also tattoos like all the way down both of her arms, down her back as well. Like Gabriella's tattoos are quite progressed. About time you stopped in. Good to see you, buddy. And she will sort of like clap two hands on your shoulders. Someone hasn't been lazy.
Don't know if that's a compliment or a dig, but good to see you too.
And she says, "Oh, I didn't mean anything serious by it, Romeo. I know you're taken. Just saying, you're looking good. Office work hasn't softened you." And she will put an arm around your neck. "You hungry? We're probably cooking up something."
Oh, you have no idea how much I've missed the food you guys make.
We'll get you set up with some empanadas or something.
Please and thank you.
And we see you as you and the three girls from Las Muertas, the Whispered group here in Seattle, travel to Witching Hour Soups, the soup kitchen, which is open 24 hours to anyone who needs it. And you come in and it's very like cafeteria based. There's a register for people who like want to and can pay, but there is a sign up that says no one comes in and leaves hungry. And we see several people sitting down, eating a bowl, chatting quietly or sticking to themselves, and a busy kitchen in this, what was once the foyer of a tattoo shop, which has been converted into a more community-based food kitchen. And as Gabriella comes in, we see several people at the tables look up and give like bright smiles as she walks in. Her sisters come and follow in behind her. And she knows people are about to say something, and she kind of just like puts her hands up like, "Not today, we got business." And, most people just then return back to their own conversations. But Hugo, you do hear, "The angels are back. Oh my gosh, it's them. I can't believe it."
You three seem popular.
It's nothing. We've just been helping out in a few places where we can. Mercedes rolls her eyes as she uses her phone to check her eyeliner. If a few places includes the greater metro. And Fernanda elbows her younger sister in the ribs. Ah! But before you can push that point further, you can hear loud shouting coming from the kitchen, and Gabriella grins and takes your hand to pull you towards the doors to the kitchen at the back of the seating area. From within the kitchen, we can hear, "What do you mean 86 serranos?" "It means we have no serranos, Capitana." "I know what 86 means. What I'm asking you is why we are 86ing serranos at all. They are in half the recipes tonight." "And they were in half the recipes last night too, so they're 86th. There is a pause, and then an explosion of more cursing and rattling of pans in the back. Despite the noise, none of the patrons seem to react all that much, except maybe to smile to themselves or quiet a baby who gets startled. "I don't believe this. In my own kitchen, I don't believe this. Don't give me that sass. Stop standing there like a pile of roadkill. Go down to the market and get some more. Time, chefs. We have none of it and hungry mouths to feed." And you see one of the people staffing the kitchen leaves out the swinging doors, hurriedly hangs an apron on a little coat rack, and rushes past you and the girls with a commiserating look of, "She's in a mood." And once they get outside, they take off running down the street.
Some things never change.
Gabriella will elbow you, and she says, "Don't worry about it. Seeing you is going to cheer her right up. Or make her worse, but maybe it'll flip it over."
I should start filling out my will and testament now.
Gabriella will call into the kitchen, "Mama!" We see pushing through the doors with her wide-brimmed hat and now in a white chef's coat with the sleeves rolled up and a large wooden spoon covered in some kind of chili or sauce. Carla Hernandez slams the door open and she says, "Girls, what do you need? Can you not see I'm trying to cook here? There's so many people coming." "Well, hello, stranger."
Hi.
She slowly sets the spoon down on a counter and shoots a look at Gabriella before her eyes dart intensely back to you. "Hi? Hi is what I get after all these months you have not come to visit?"
I had to gauge things a little bit. Things seem to be a little bit intense here right now.
Intense? Intense? Intense is how we roll here, Hugo Rashad.
I didn't forget. I just like keeping myself all in one piece, so...
Oh my fucking god.
"Well, you must be hungry. Look at you. Practically skin and bones. Ay, Dios mío. Come. You need to eat something. We'll talk over food."
I can handle this. It'll be fine. It's good to see you. Let's eat something.
She brings you into the back of the kitchen where lots of stews and ingredients are being prepared in tall, simmering pots. And she asks you what you'd like, but ends up kind of just filling in a large bowl with whatever she recommends and says you'll like it if you try it.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with a little stew over rice bowl hodgepodge sort of thing. And at the end of the line, she goes for the bottle of hot sauce and pauses, glancing back at you as her hand hovers over the spiciest blend.
You really only have the mild stuff left? Jeez.
You see a bright smile split her dark lipstick and creep across her face. "You are a good boy, Hugo Rashad." And she shakes a bit of the hot sauce onto the food before handing it off to you. And then the two of you can take a seat here in the back prep room as kitchen work continues and acts as a convenient white noise to drown out your conversation. "So, what brings you to Seattle, Hugo? It's not like you to leave your community center and princess over nothing."
It's not a business thing. I want to say it's checking in on some stuff.
Carla will extend her hand, and in a completely fluid motion, Fernanda walks by and hands off a coffee in a white styrofoam cup before joining her sisters at one of the stations where they've already leapt into prepping ingredients. Carla takes a sip, watching you the whole time, and sets the cup down. "Stuff. Sounds like you mean business talk, Hugo."
A concerned and invested party expressed to me, who am I kidding? My mom said you might need some help up here.
Aww.
Didn't go into specifics, but I thought it best that I pop up here and take a look.
Carla looks at you over her cup, sets it down, and sort of taps her long nails on the table for a second. She says, "Your mother was instrumental in getting us the grant to open this place after we decided to follow in your example, Hugo. I'm not sure what she expects my people to do about what is happening in Seattle other than feeding the people who are hungry here. Were you sent to speak to us or Miss Bashir?
Well, sent to speak with you is one thing. Should speak with you isn't always. Miss Bashir, on the other hand, it wouldn't hurt to check in as well.
She nods and continues to smile. And she says, I appreciate it, Hugo. Perhaps, once you have eaten, we can see about getting you acclimated to our fair city.
I only feel slightly afraid of the way you say that. It's not that bad of a city, is it?
It's a wonderful city, but from what we have heard, you will feel right at home, given how exciting Portland is these days.
Yep, I do not like that at all, but okay.
You hear sort of a commotion towards the front of the soup kitchen, and pushing through the doors to the kitchen are a couple folks who you had seen earlier just eating a meal in the seating area. They hurriedly approach you and Carla and say, Miss Hernandez, Gwen's in a bit of trouble. And we see a person with a red beanie and the long locks and the fingerless gloves and the beat-up denim jacket sheepishly standing behind these other two patrons. And they look nervous, and you can't tell if it's like nervous to be approaching Carla or if, whatever trouble they're in has them looking this spooked, but they look very wide-eyed. They're sweating like they've been running a long time. They seem a little out of breath. And Carla stands up. She says, excuse me, Hugo. Goes over and will lean over. Because Carla's very tall. Carla's 5'10", 5'11". And she leans over to this shorter person and she says, are you hurt? No. Who saw you? Some guy in a bunch of armor with a sword. And there was an angel. It wasn't one of ours.
Oh!
And Carla says, well, I hope you like peeling potatoes. And she looks at the two people, take them to the kitchen. Gwen kind of breathlessly is like, thank you, Miss Carla. Thank you so much. Thank you. And they escort this person away. Hugo, please roll sharp.
Yeah, saw that coming. 10.
When the first two people came over, you noted tattoos on their wrists. And as Carla was holding Gwen's hand, you caught the start of one on theirs as well. And as they are taken off to the kitchen to be on shift for a while, Carla turns around and says, like I said, things are very exciting in this city.
Carla, I know it's not my place.
You're right. Be very careful about the next thing you say.
Oh my god.
Oh, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to punch me again? You're going to shoot me again? You're going to hit me with the hat again?
I'm going to bring out the hot stuff. She says, your mouth burns from the very spicy stuff you've already consumed.
Have you folks been expanding?
Las Muertas membership is closed. But people in this city need a way to defend themselves, Hugo. There are dangers on the streets.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Hopefully the training that's been happening here has been going better than what's been going in my area.
She will just smirk at that. If you're feeling rusty, I can have the girls run you through their training regimen. I hear there's no worry of your tattoos expanding.
Yeah. Funny thing happens when you die.
Huh. Whoops.
Funny things happen the longer you don't.
Ain't that the truth?
Let's put you to work, Hugo.
You never ask. I have to pay back the favor anyway. Also, you really, really need to check the spice levels on this stuff.
Are you challenging me, Hugo? You know one way or another, you're going to regret it.
Well, pain is how we go stronger.
And she will dab a bit of the hot sauce onto her finger, tastes it, takes a moment to think about how to make you and her daughters weep into your bowls of food later. And she will walk you back to the back offices of the soup kitchen where you can get kitted up with the rest of Las Muertas. We will cut back over to Rogue Team. You all are taking a break. You've managed to collect several of these illegal spell components, these sickly green crystals. And what would you like to do at this point in time? We'll say there's no active crises happening in the city right now. You guys are sort of caught up for today.
Damien would like to touch one of the crystals.
No. Bad. Down.
Roll.
Roll cool to get past Whitaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
It's pretty cool.
Damien, it's one of the last jobs of the afternoon. Things are quieting down. You manage to be the one to be first to get within like melee range of this person with the stone. With some deft hand to hand, you strike at their wrist. Their arm seizes up as you hit a tendon that like reflexively causes them to open their grip. And the crystal flies out into the air, and with your other hand, you just reach forward instinctively to grab it and catch it before it hits the ground. And...
oh, God.
Yep.
You now have to decide what happens.
I have to decide what this means. You grab the stone, and for a brief instant, the scene around you flashes like static to a windy, barren expanse.
That's not good.
Good fucking luck, my guy.
What do you do?
So part of me is like, crush it, destroy it, and the other part of me is like, isn't that what causes the big explosion to happen? Puts it in a pocket, I guess. I don't want it on the ground, and I don't want it touching me.
You shakily put it in a pocket, and as soon as it leaves contact with your skin, the desert flickers. You're back on the street in Seattle. The person who was like fighting you recovers, slugs you in the face, and like goes to scramble for your pocket and like pick it up again. I think they get tackled by Aiden and Raven, who launch in to defend you. But Damien, you lay there with tears streaming down your face from the corners of your dark demon spawn eyes.
Whoa.
I chose this.
You did. Does that feel fun and mysterious?
No, it was great. This is that tasty lore.
Asked and answered, somewhat.
Yeah, Damien's having a rough go of it.
That's what happens when you're a human and you look at the place apart.
Yep.
Whitaker, can you get this rock out of my pocket for me?
Yeah, Damien, you good? You all right?
Yeah. I just me touching it. I'm gonna take a bit.
I'm gonna spare you the "I told you so," but this is the first time I think I've seen you cry, so I'm taking it.
Oh, geez, let me get this out of my. I'm just gonna floor time.
Sidewalk time.
It's all the same.
Oh, bud.
You earned it, bud.
Raven, take this, get it contained. I'll sit with Damien for a bit.
Oh, yeah. She'll take it and give it to what was the name of that delightful construct agent?
Virgil.
Yeah, she'll safely hand it off to Virgil.
Actually, I think they might be busy across town, but another ally of yours could be helping y'all with this one, though she is a bit more unsettling than Virgil.
Oh, no.
Floating down from somewhere in like a pretty simple white flowy dress with like a lace trimmed edge to it, and holding a stuffed teddy bear with like pin straight dark hair. This is Echo, the haunted doll agent.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
God, she scares the shit out of me. I fucking hate that kid.
She's got like ring makeup that like streaming down. Like she is scary.
Haunting.
But she just like lands on the sidewalk and will like slowly walk over to you without really making eye contact, Raven.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes the teddy bear and just rips open the front of it.
Oh.
And like presents it as like a thing to hold the stone in.
Oh my God. My fucking word.
Oh.
Hey, Raven. Mr. Snuffles can carry that.
Raven will very gently put the stone in the teddy bear and say, "Thank you, Mr. Snuffles."
She closes the teddy bear, hugs him back to her chest, gives you like one look, Raven.
I like your vibe.
Thank you, Echo.
And she will turn and just float away out of the area.
Raven will turn to the rest of her team and just be like, "Oh my God." Not gonna get used to that.
Yeah.
Whew.
Hayden's kind of like, she gives Ross a run for her money.
Yeah.
Whitaker, I think I failed the human test.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you and Raven grabbed the rock just fine.
Oh. Ow.
Oh, what happened?
It's like being in the place apart.
I'm sorry, Damien. Just because you used to be a demon, that doesn't need to define every aspect of your life. Maybe it's just pulling at this one right now.
And I get why Aiden grabbing these rocks messes with her. I'm just hoping it's a different reason for me. I don't know, I don't want to be like that.
Well, I think you two got something a little bit different going on. You know what, Damien? You should talk to Aiden. You should talk to her about it. But in the meantime, let me get you like a ice cream, something.
Oh, can we go out for ice cream? It's been such a long day, dude.
Hey, Damien, you passed the human test.
Oh.
Thanks, Whitaker.
Best dad ever! It's so sad that he thinks he failed the human test because of his reaction to the stone, but in my head I was like, oh, Damien cried when he saw the place apart. That means he's a human now.
Right? Oh, that's a really good point, actually.
So to me, he passed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a good point.
Whitaker's being top tier dad this episode. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, big dad vibes.
All the dad energy.
Thanks.
I don't know what's on your shirt, but it has Hawaiian shirt energy today, so it's really helping.
Oh, it does. It's astronauts, but it does look
Close
very
enough.
Hawaiian, yeah. It does have...
They're Hawaiian astronauts.
That's very gay dad of you.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's just what we need, honestly.
This is what we need on this episode. I will say you guys can get a quick bite of ice cream, just to get a break. Probably Raven and Ada need a palate cleanser after interacting with Echo anyway.
Yeah, jeez.
Let's get ourselves some fun flavored ice cream.
You go get ice cream, and we will say, as you're leaving the ice cream shop and getting ready to check in with Mulligan's team again, a rather dark SUV pulls up. Stepping out of it is a woman in a dark suit with like purple accents to the ascot she's wearing and a full black cat face. Although not as like fluffy as Vanessa's, and also missing the horns. Almost like short hair, and her ears are very like pointed, giving a very like hieroglyph silhouette to her form. She steps out and she says, "My name is Iris Bashir. This is Rogue Team."
Miss Bashir, honored to meet you. Major Whitaker.
Seattle CPA. She'll reach a hand out and shake hands.
Shakes her hand.
She says, "I've been getting reports from Agents Lake. You're doing incredible work in the city. I wondered if you would like to have dinner to discuss your stay here."
That would be perfect, yes.
We'll have something catered to my office. Would you like transportation? I can call you a ride, or...
Should be all right. We've got our own transportation.
No, we don't want to drive in the city, Whitaker. Take the ride.
An escort would be much appreciated, thank you.
Iris's attentive ears flick a little, and you hear a quickly stifled but amused purr as she pulls out a phone and starts texting someone from her team. "Transport should be here shortly. I will see you at my office in a few." And she will get into her vehicle, and soon enough, another city government SUV pulls up, and you can all climb into that one and head off towards Seattle City Hall and the adjoining offices there where she has her office, the Chief of Paranormal Affairs. You see that Iris's office is a little sparse. It's in a portion of the building that gives her like a corner office with 2 windows looking out on the city. There's a large, very fancy looking desk in here and a very comfortable looking chair. But aside from that, like there's a bookcase with not that many books on it and lots of like personal photos of her and what looks to be her partner, who is this vulture harpy, neatly stacked against the wall in here, but not actually hung up. The whole office looks like it was recently stripped. And she sits down, greets you there, and she says, "I was contacted by Director Easty that she would be sending one of her advanced response teams. You've been made aware, I'm sure, and especially given your experiences today, the rather difficult problem we are facing with the presence of these on the streets." And she gestures to like one of Virgil's containment cases that has like a floating one of the stones inside of it.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with them by now.
So far, we've been unable to determine where they're being produced in the city. Have you encountered any of the creatures that have been reported to be supplying them?
Did she say creatures?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Interesting. Did we know that before?
Nope.
Oh.
You just know they're a problem. You've been apprehending people who've had them.
Yeah, we've only been finding them once they have become obviously a problem.
When they're being used.
Yeah.
As part of burglaries, fighting, disagreements, etc. In fact, you've probably also dealt with a couple of instances where there wasn't even any malicious intent behind the magic, but it just went out of control.
Someone was like practicing with it or like
caused a house fire.
Just playing with it, yeah.
Something they were trying, and it went and got bad.
Just a very volatile power source, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Care to elaborate a little bit? We've had experience with them being shipped into the city. We don't actually know a lot about them on the production end. What information do you have on it?
Not very many. We just know that the suppliers are very hard to track because they vanish almost as quickly as we can get eyes on them. We are unfortunate in that they seem to be taking advantage of our city's natural flora. She will go to her laptop and pull up case files from Mulligan's team and other local reports of these things. And what you see are dark photographs, all taken at night. It seems like whatever's distributing these things is only out at night. You see what looks like a mass of vegetation and vines and root structures and in some cases branches with foliage. And again, they're sort of misshapen. They're not perfectly proportioned, but in the chest, a glowing cavity filled with these stones.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a very blurry image, but that's where they are. You see one instance of, like, again, silhouetted by a streetlight, a long, gnarled, branching hand clutching just one and handing it off to someone in like a dark outfit, like receiving one and handing over a wad of cash.
Any resemblance to the Flatwoods monster, another very plant-y sort of creature, or is this just two very separate sort of things?
That's a very good question.
Another plant creature with a glowing aspect to it.
Yes. I think it would be hard to tell. Just based on the quality of these photos.
Sure.
Raven, do you have a move?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, did we remember to do a move at the start of a mystery?
Somebody did, and it wasn't me.
I remember.
Oh, I'm shaking with excitement.
Ooh. I have cryptid sighting. This kind of sounds like it counts as a cryptid.
Uh-huh.
A blurry photo of a strange creature at night? That's a cryptid sighting.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, I can ask one investigate a mystery question.
Okay.
What is being concealed here is always a really good one. But also, what sort of creature is it can reveal some stuff. I think that's...
What sort of creature is it? Sounds like a really good, like, starter.
Yeah.
Let's break this thing apart before we try to investigate other hidden things.
Yeah, what sort of creature is it?
Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah.
Enhance.
Here's a question for Hugo.
Oh,
interesting.
At your reunion dinner party with everyone, did you at any point bring up the creature who attacked you the night of the break-in at the print shop?
Yeah, Hugo. Did you?
So in our recording in the play session, no. In the continuation of conversation that we did not get to actually see, absolutely.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
all right.
Raven, after Hugo described this plant-like thing which attacked him, just as a thing to keep you and your friends caught up on, you did some digging through the agency database and your own various research methods. You were able to come up with the same conclusion that Hugo did, that it was a Leshy which attacked him. And this looks remarkably similar to the description you were given.
Interesting. And that was a while ago when that happened to Hugo, right?
It was prior to your fight against Victoria Salem.
Yeah, like before we knew anything about Salem, Hugo had that fight with the Leshy and like attacked him. He was like in the middle of another job.
He was in the middle of interfering with Drake Fowler's people running their protection scheme.
Yeah, we sort of assumed that this was like Drake Fowler upping his defenses. So maybe a connection there.
Yeah.
Feel free to bring that up in character, because Whitaker doesn't remember this.
I mean, feel free to discuss it a little bit. Like I'm now dropping clues. The mystery is afoot. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Raven's like looking at these photos and looking closer, and then we'll turn to the rest of the team. Could this be a Leshy? Back in Portland, there's been at least one sighting of one. This kind of fits the same MO of creature type.
Sure.
I think she'll make specific eye contact with Whitaker of like, I'm not going to give any more details and say why we know about this. Like, she's not going to mention Hugo or anything, but like, we have heard of this, we know of one.
Yeah.
I think we can like say Drake Fowler's name though. I think that's, yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah. She just didn't want to name drop Hugo and be like, our friend saw one.
Of course, Hugo, Whisper, was like there was a sighting, an attack. Yeah, keep it nice and anonymous. Sure, that one we reasoned was working on behalf of Drake Fowler. Up until now, we did not draw a connection between the crystals and him, so we don't necessarily want to assume these are also his people, just because it's the same thing.
It's not an immediate, obvious connection, but we can definitely look into Drake Fowler and see, does he have more of these? Did these come from him?
Fowler was also at the casino. Raven, Aiden, when you got a glimpse of King O's little meeting room before you were ushered out, was Fowler in there, I think is my big question.
No, he wasn't part of that meeting.
Gotcha.
Come to think of it, I don't think I saw him speak to King O at all.
Unless they spoke after we all left.
He was mostly wandering the party.
I don't immediately want to assume he's working with Meridian on this, but we'll keep it on the dartboard, I suppose.
That would run counter to the agency's latest intelligence. Most of the reports say King O and Fowler have been pretty closely aligned for a while.
Are any of them really aligned with any others?
It's true.
Especially after the power transfer in the harbor there. Things might be all out of sorts.
Yeah. If one guy starts getting Leshies as bodyguards, though, I could see someone else picking up the same idea. Maybe getting them from a different source, but using the same type of creature as protection, or in this case, deliveries?
Production?
Iris speaks up and she says, "It would not be the first time that a criminal from Portland or Seattle tried to affect things in the other city. Jonathan King used to hold territory here before he was kicked out by my predecessor. Unfortunately, Prince Jilan is still recovering from his ordeal months ago."
Do we know anything about that?
You would have gotten the report from Mulligan Lake's team in which Prince Shallan was involved in a mysterious case of a once thought extinct magical creature terrorizing the city, Shallan being the former CPA of the city, and Iris was his assistant, and she stepped up to take over the position.
All right.
Wow. Good for her.
That would be why the office is so empty.
Yeah, all right.
This is new for her.
Used to be full of his stuff. Yeah.
If you want more details, readers, you can check out Crystal Corruption, the Emerald City, episode 6 of the Expanded Universe.
All right, we've got a lot of theories kicking around. I think a good next step, one of many, would be to try and catch one of these things.
Yeah, we can learn more about it and hopefully prevent a lot more of these stones from getting into the hands of more people in the city.
We're looking for the source. That's big right now.
Certainly with more agents in the city, it would be very helpful. Lake's team has been run ragged over the last few weeks trying to find where these creatures pop up, but they are using the trees to escape and disguise themselves. Best of luck if you were to roll tonight.
Maybe we don't need to figure out where they're coming from, but maybe we need to track and see where they go after they've done their deliveries.
Going more subtle, not a bad idea.
Or I could walk around the city with a large wad of cash in my pocket, and maybe they'll come to us.
Didn't you already hand over like $1,000 of agency funding at the casino?
Do you really want to be touching one of those again?
I wear gloves.
We should try to find out if is like an ordering system where someone is waiting with cash knowing it's coming, or if it is trying to like solicit customers and sell these on the streets.
Yeah, the folks who've been using them, what have they been saying, if anything?
Most of them are keeping very tight-lipped. It's a serious offense to be caught with a component without the proper license, and there is no proper license for things like these, which are volatile and dangerous for anyone to use. The people who can afford very expensive lawyers are claiming ignorance, and those who cannot. If you would like access to interrogation, we can grant it, but I don't know that you would have much luck.
Sounds like we know what we're doing tonight.
This couldn't wait until tomorrow.
Take a nap, Damien.
It's fine. It's serious.
We'll get you some coffee.
Ice cream, dinner, coffee. Nash, what I call a balanced meal.
Okay.
Let's plan a stakeout, baby.
Yeah.
We love a stakeout.
Rogue team. You finish dinner, you get some coffee, and prepare for a stakeout around the city. Do you stay together, or do you try and split up to cover more ground?
I think we gotta split up.
Yeah.
Personally. Because, like, we've got a person who can teleport. If we're all on one connection, say, oh, I've got a sighting here.
Yep.
Aiden can round everyone up and...
Okay. Then I think, why don't all of you roll? Which one would it be? Let's check the questions first.
Investigate a mystery is my initial impulse.
Yeah. Everybody investigate a mystery. Or rather, everyone roll, but whoever has the highest score is who I will ask to ask the questions.
Ooh.
11 for Whitaker, as it always is.
Beats my 5.
13.
Agent Eugenia is dialed the fuck in right now.
I rolled so good. And I have a 3 sharp.
Hell yeah. So, Raven, wherever you are staked out in the city, let me ask you this. Do you guys have a strategy for where you're going to try and observe, placement-wise?
My strategy was to look at a map of the city and see where the most activity has been, like where the most incidents have happened, and pick one of those areas where there seems to be a lot more people purchasing these stones.
Okay.
We got a nice big bulletin board with little pins.
Yeah.
Of all the documented incidents.
And just pick like a hotspot.
Do we have any access to like security cameras and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, if you wanted to like have, like if Whitaker wants to be like in a car somewhere, but like also watching several other locations, you could do something like that. Raven, you set up nearby the Seattle Japanese Garden, one of these very like tended to displays of gardens and greenery. What questions do you want to ask?
Oh boy. I feel like the obvious one is going to be, where did it go? I think now is the time to ask, what is being concealed here?
Ooh, that is a very good question to ask now.
Yeah, I get 2, right?
Yep. You're on stakeout. You know, it gets late into the night. It's maybe midnight or later. You guys might be texting with each other like, how late are we staying out actually? Are we going to be out all night? What's the plan? How late do you want to be here? Where are we staying? We should book something. We should,
4 a.m. is Whitaker's cutoff.
That's fair. Are we not staying at like an agency?
I suppose there must be some sort of like...
They have to be putting us up somewhere.
Yeah, right. They give you some
hotel.
Some hotel that's like covered, officially.
Yeah.
So anyway, how is Raven concealed? Where is she staked out and how well hidden is she?
I forgot this was in the middle of the night. I was going to say they're in street clothes pretending to just be having a nice time in the park. But I think if this is midnight, they probably are using an agency nondescript vehicle. And they're like doing a classic stakeout in a car.
Okay.
Cool bike.
Well, Whitaker has his motorcycle, right?
Yep.
Oh, maybe Raven would have hers.
You brought all your bikes to the city.
Just rode them there, yeah.
That's fine.
Season 3 is bike era.
Bike era. I love it. Yeah, so you're...
Yeah, she's on her bike. Let her have this.
Are you... Okay. I was going to say, like, if you brought your bike, maybe stash that somewhere as well. Because, like, sitting on your bike in the middle of a parking lot at midnight is, like, a little conspicuous.
It's a little weird. Yeah, maybe her bike is parked and she's nearby in the park in this, like, garden.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have, like, a chameleon spirit or something?
Ooh. Stealthed up?
Get a little magic coverage on you.
I think you have lizard.
I do have lizard. Oh, I do also have... Can octopus camouflage?
Yeah.
Into like coral reefs and stuff. So I do also have octopus. I could use that for camouflaging abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the closest I have, unless I get real creative with it.
Yeah, that is like the most.
Yeah. I do kind of like the idea that she's utilizing the octopus spirit, and her whole body and like her outfit and hair and skin and everything just kind of have this little like shimmery look to her, like when an octopus changes colors really rapidly. So she's just kind of like blending in with a bush that she's leaning up against, and you just like can't see her.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. So you're undercover. You're in the park itself. You're like figuring maybe they're based out of here. Who knows? We got to pick places where they could hide and get away easily. You see 3 figures appear overhead and glide silently through the night sky. You catch them because they kind of pass by a street lamp, and these 3 figures with large wings pass by, headed towards a large central area. And then you see a golden streak pass up and over a security wall, down it, and down the path following those 3 figures.
Oh, she's following.
Okay. Because you are on foot, it takes you a little longer to chase after, but you can sort of follow this moving, darting blip of gold, which stops over the bridge on this like centralized island. And as Raven rushes to catch up, our camera will move and follow and get to this island ahead of her, where we see 3 hooded figures stand, pull off their hoods, and we see Gabriella, Mercedes, Fernanda. Also, now that they've landed, their wings are gone.
What kind of shaped wings were they while they were flying?
They seem to be feathered.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Gabriella, her jacket has like the sleeves cut off, and all the tattoos on her bicep down to her forearm light up. She just sort of cracks her knuckles. Fernanda pulls out a pair of punch daggers. Like they have like a grip for her fingers, and she whips those out, gives a nod, and then darts away. Mercedes will glance around and say, 2 o'clock, I'll be in the sky. She's wearing this like racerback top, and we see the outline of wing tattoos on her back alight, and her wings reappear.
Ooh.
And she takes 2 steps, leaps. As she's like taking off, we see her pulling out a slim case, which she starts to take pieces out of and assemble what looks to be like a sniper rifle.
Whoa.
To just get aerial on the scene.
Oh, shit.
And emerging from this large central tree in the park is a very large leshy creature. It sort of emerges from the tree as if the trunk of the tree were spawning a copy of itself. And it turns, sees Gabriella there, and she says, "You're getting bigger lately." And at this point, Hugo zips up next to her. The dark red and gold and black mantle.
Oh!
She gives you a look. She says, "Did you stretch?"
Nope.
Oh.
It'll be fine.
Hugo, my darling.
It's your body, dead man. And Gabriella leaps forward with like incredible force. Like there's a little like scooting of the gravel she was on back, creating like a little like kicked back section. And she just impacts with the shoulder of this leshy spirit. There's like a splintering of wood as this thing goes to reach for her, and she kind of drops down, rolls under its legs.
Las Muertas! Engage!
And you start to hear pop, pop. It's not just little bullet pock marks that hit this thing. Spiraling, flaming beads of force are rained down from Mercedes, where she's gotten range on this thing. And every time she goes to pull the trigger, the tattoo on her face alights, and some on her fingers alight and seem to like send something into the barrel of her sniper rifle, which then fires not a bullet, but a like blast of magical fire out of it. Hugo, there's a giant leshy tree. What do you do?
I get revenge.
Yes.
Let's go. Are you kicking ass?
Yeah, but combat magic, I think.
Yeah, okay.
We're not being quiet, are we?
Not really. The park is ostensibly closed.
Cool.
And there's someone flying in the air firing a sniper rifle. Like, they're not exactly trying to be subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always nice to put some lightning into a tree and see what happens. With a 9.
Okay.
Should have stretched. Lightning blast. So he's probably going to get too close, or at least he's going to get closer than he probably should have.
You fire one of your lightning blasts at this giant, monstrous Leshy, and when you strike it, it like lights part of it on fire. And it yells at you, but when it opens, it's like, strange sort of twisted, not even like a straight line of a mouth. It's just like a zigzag across the front of this thing. It opens up and a dozen Leshy leap out of this thing.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Some of them stick around to attack you, but others take off into the park. Gabriella says, "Shit, there's the swarm. Fernanda, runners!" And we see, as the Leshy are running towards the exit, a blink-stepping Fernanda appears, chop one in half with one of her daggers, then blink again. She's over somewhere else, chops that one's legs off. It falls to the ground, starts crawling away. She abandons it, goes on to something else, trying to chokehold the entrance to this place. The ones that are fleeing can't escape. There's a lot of them. And Hugo, the 2 Leshy that come and retaliate against you, one of them tries to just sort of restrain you in place, vines wrapping around your legs and arms. The other one rears back a fingered hand, which suddenly twists into a lance, and then a single little crackle of green energy starts in the chest and travels through the root and vines to the tip of this spear, and it comes spiraling in to attack you.
Oh no.
Well, it's a good thing that we're not in the dream space and we're wearing actual armor this time.
Attack from a Leshy. They're a minion creature, but it's powered up. I'll call it 2 harm.
But we have 2 points of armor, so it's okay.
All right, you luck out. The thing deflects off your whispered armor, and we will say, as it's trying to recover, Gabriella grabs it by where its neck would be. Her other hand reaches over to the bottom of its sort of half-formed humanoid head and just decapitates it. Her arm tattoos blazing, giving her immense strength in this moment. She says, "The goal is containment. The big one doesn't have crystals, so focus on the runners."
Noted. And he's going to start running around in circles as best he can, just trying to slam glyphs into the ground.
Ooh,
Nice,
okay.
nice.
What are you trying here?
Trapping things.
Okay,
Yeah, similar to what Damien helped us with earlier. It's trapping a specific person, minion, or monster.
sure. Okay, roll use magic.
Oh no.
What'd you get?
A 5.
Oh,
No. You are casting these runes to try and trap whatever Leshy you've managed to encircle with your snipe speed. You go to activate the spell, and a lance of fire cuts through the circle that you have made, counterspelling your magic. And then you are kicked in the side by a hoofed leg.
Is it a familiar hoofed leg?
Oh,
As you get to your feet, you see the familiar eyes of Falden Springleaf
oh, bitch.
as he draws 2 folk scimitars and says, "Showing your true colors at last. I knew you must somehow be involved in this."
Folden, what are you doing here?
He gets very serious and solemn and says, "Learning the depths of your wickedness."
Fine. Let's dance.
And he will rush at you as also behind you, you see Orion, the gnome pyromancer, the one having countered your spell. And we see as Gabriella goes to back you up and she calls into her little headpiece, "Girls, company, the folk are here." And we see Fernanda as she assassinates another of the Leshy and turns around, "Be right there." Blink steps. Fernanda appearing behind Falden to try and attack him, and Gabriella coming up on Orion. Fernanda is caught in the shoulder by a double-bladed spear, which drives her into the ground, and charging forward with a shield that bashes into Gabriella and knocks her to the side, even despite her tattoo-enhanced strength, is Syrah, the centaur. She throws a hand out, and the gauntlet she's wearing glows with folk runes, and the spear flies out of Fernanda's shoulder and into her hand. And she levels it at Gabriella. On your feet, witch hunter.
He's going to look around real quick. He's going to brush himself off, square up, and declare that class is in session.
Okay.
He will scrap with them if he needs to scrap with them. And he's also not going to hold back either.
Okay. Kick some ass.
Combat magic, but frost this time.
Okay.
With a 10.
Nice. What bonus will you take?
I said he wasn't holding back, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
You inflict terrible harm.
How much harm?
Get him.
So +1, which makes this a total of 4 harm restraining.
What's it look like?
He is going to rush up to Falden, get underneath the swing if possible, and slam his fists into the ground of where Falden's feet are. Lesson 1, footwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he's going to just try to, once he's in place, kick him.
You lock his feet up, so now suddenly he's all off balance, because his strategy is very much footwork based. He's a sprightly little satyr. Suddenly being locked in throws off all of his momentum and body weight as he tries to swing at you with these scimitars. Ooh, you know what? It's rare that I get to say this, but this is the perfect chance for Hugo to pull off a kick from capoeira. You connect to Falden's ribs with like a spinning roundhouse, which will break Falden free of the ice, but at a cost, which is his ribs. And he is sent sprawling back into the gravel. We'll say the rest of Las Muertas are able to hold their own against these folk enemies. I think Fernanda sits up and like puts pressure on where she got hit in the shoulder. It's bleeding, but you can already see the warmth of tattoos under her jacket where they are activating to heal her. Orion and Mercedes get into a like blast for blast barrage showdown where like he's casting a bunch of these arcing swaths of fire and she's like firing back to keep them from reaching her. Falden stands up, kicks the ice off his ankles, and will wipe some blood from his mouth. And he says, Lesson 2, make every trick count. And he will fade in the firefly light the way Mira does, and you feel a scimitar in your side as he appears behind you, having face-stepped, since you did not choose to suffer little harm.
That's fair.
His scimitar will be 3.
Okay, noted.
Ow. Holy shit.
Raven.
Uh-huh.
Stuff's happening.
Yup.
Leshier running by, you assume scattering amongst the city.
Yeah. As soon as she saw that it was Hugo, I think she called the rest of the team.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming that's happening while this fighting is going on.
So like, she touches her earpiece and is like, Leshy's been spotted, fun surprise, Hugo's here, and he brought some friends. Proceed with caution, they're armed. And so she's assuming everybody is hopefully converging on her location. And then I think still camouflage, she's gonna try and take out any Leshies that are like coming her way and try to prevent them from leaving this area. But trying to stay stealthed from everybody, just trying to help without getting noticed.
Do you pull another card?
Yeah, I think I'll pull another card. She'll keep the camouflage going because it's very important. But yeah, she'll pull something else to get some fighting stuff.
Sure.
It's a 9.
It's a 10.
Why?
Power of love. You hear in your earpiece, hang in there. I'll be right there with everybody else.
Oh. Does that mean I get to pick?
Yes.
All right, let me pick one real quick. I just need someone who will help me very quietly and efficiently assassinate these Leshies.
Yep.
Ooh, hear me out. Snake spirit. But I want like, you know how snakes are kind of just all muscle? I just want like the strength from a snake to be able to go up to these creatures and literally just like, if they had necks, like break their necks quickly and just very quietly, very stealthily take them out, still camouflaged.
Yeah. I like the idea of that too, almost in like a reversal of like a snake's ability to bind. Like you also, with the snake spirit's power, are able to avoid being bound up yourself. Like when you go to attack the Leshy, they go and try and wrap you up, and you just reverse that movement to like
wiggle out of it.
Yeah, and then wrap around and crush them.
Yeah.
Very cool. I think as you like take out a couple, you see Fernanda is standing, holding her shoulder. She's not gone back to the fight yet, and she's looking directly at you. She's got her little face mask on. You can see like most of the rest of her hair now in like the blonde ponytail. And one of her eyes is glowing.
Ooh.
Again, because it's got a little like symbol underneath it.
Yeah.
And she just says, I don't know who you are, but don't let them out.
You got it.
And she will continue to like fight side by side with you to take out these Leshy.
Yeah. As soon as Raven like notices like, oh, she's seen me, she'll give her a little wave and kind of like put a hand up to her lips of like, shh. But yeah, if she's cool, they'll fight side by side.
Their concern is the Leshy right now.
Yeah. And Raven's clearly trying to help with that.
Yep. We'll go back to the fight with Hugo and Falden. You see Gabriella literally going toe-to-toe with Syrah. Anytime Syrah comes down and strikes, Gabriella will either catch the blade in like a sword catch or just sort of like let it glance off her forearm. But there's been a couple of moments where like Syrah has then whipped the back end around and caught Gabriella in the leg. So she's starting to look a little wounded. As much as her tattoos are closing her wounds for her, she keeps getting hit, and that sucks. Hugo, what are you doing?
He's going to try to protect her.
Okay.
So he's going to attempt to disengage from Falden.
Sure. Roll protect someone.
Oh, it's an 8. Better than I thought.
Okay. You'll take some or all of the harm they were going to get.
Think so.
Look at that. I'm starting to quote the rules. We're getting there. Season 3. You manage to remove yourself from Falden's blade, zip over, and stop Syrah from a pretty like nasty gut blow she was about to land on Gabriella with her spear. How do you stop it? What's Hugo's technique for like stopping a blade attack?
Normally it would be to try to catch it or deflect it, but given how that one's coming down and the fact that he's going to get hurt, he's gotten stabbed by swords and stuff before. I'm sure it's fine if it just stabs him.
Okay. All right, yeah. Syrah's spear comes down. That'll be 3 harm.
Cool. Ignore armor.
Oh, fuck.
Fey weapons.
So it's just 2, because the other thing's not armor.
Great. But yeah, her blade right through.
Backup's on the way.
Huh?
Said good thing backup's on the way.
Well, I was just gonna say, she stabs it into you as you like push Gabriella out of the way, the sword now like coming through like the side of your ribs.
Oh, and he's gonna hold it in place.
You grab onto it?
Yep.
Okay. Syrah will rear back under her hindquarters and lift you and just sort of chuck the spear towards the lake.
Cool. Awesome.
Wow.
However, you do not hit the water. There is a gold flash as Aiden appears and catches you before you hit the water. And we hear the vroom as a motorcycle busts through the gate of the garden as Whitaker and Damien arrive. Rogue Team has shown up to back you up. Honestly, we leave you alone for like a couple days.
I have no ready response to that.
Hugo bleeds on her.
Yep.
Yeah, just a little bit.
She will fly you back to the shore. Whitaker, Damien, you guys have anything cool you want to do as your arrival or just showing up?
Raven's in stealth mode. Damien's showing up with a chainsaw.
A second.
Okay.
Sword out, baby. Let's do some weed whacking.
Nice. I think Syrah will now call her spear back. If you want to try and stop it, Hugo, I would let you roll plus tough, but it will cost you even if you succeed.
What if the goal isn't to stop it, but to go with it?
To ride it back?
Ride it back?
Please.
Oh,
okay.
It's gruesome, but I kind of love it.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
You can ride it back. You will immediately take 1 harm, but I will give you +1 to kick some ass.
Sure.
Oh, please kick her in the face on your way back.
11.
Amazing.
This is so wild.
You are pulled
Holy
back.
shit.
Aiden is like, wait, no, what? What's it look like?
Does it fly back to her vertically or horizontally?
Horizontally.
Cool. Then he's just holding on to it as best he can with his feet out in front of him.
You're planking?
Planking, but he's also using his snipe speed to have his feet just continuously go back and forth.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Yeah, you slam into her. She's not expecting you to still be attached. And I think she's also probably a little just distracted and was like instinctually calling her weapon back when she saw Aiden show up. So she just gets pop, 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 multi-kicked in the face, kind of staggers back and lands into the gravel. Falden looks over his shoulder to where Whitaker and Damien are and glances at the large tree leshy, and he will just put 2 fingers to his lips and whistle and takes a couple of bounding satyr leaps towards the tree leshy. Orion, the gnome, will throw out a very flashy but not like damaging fire arc to sort of create a barrier between where they are running to and your group. I'm gonna let her bound after them as well. I will say if anyone would like to try and stop her, I will let you roll for it.
Since I'm still camouflaged, can I try to trip her up?
Yeah, if you want to.
What should I roll for that?
It would be act under pressure to try and like bind her, unless you want to try and use magic and like fast cast a spirit to use the trapping effect. Because we've said that like for Raven, if you want to use the magic effects like in the use magic field and just want to say like I quick cast a spirit and it does a thing, like rather than keeping a power prolonged, you can just have little quick effects.
Yeah. So to be roll to use magic and then just pick an effect and have that be flavored with the animal spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, that's an 11.
No glitch. So yeah, describe a trapping spell that's like a quick card cast from Raven.
I don't think I've ever trapped anyone with any of these animals before.
Spider.
Ooh. Yeah, she'll pull the spider card. I think it's a little bit Spider-Man-esque
Sure.
where she like will shoot webs out like, and she will just like shoot a web and aim it towards her like ankles to try and just bind him. And so she mid-step slams into the ground.
All right, yeah. Syrah does not make it to the tree leshy, but Falden and Orion look back, see how much reinforcements have come, see that she's now trapped, and just grit their teeth and leap into the mouth of the tree leshy, which then impacts with the trunk of the tree that it came out of and morphs back in and becomes part of that tree again and is gone.
Oh, okay.
Rogue team, you now stand here with a bruised and battered group of Whispered. Aiden will fly back over from where she was above the water feature of this garden, land on the stone path, see Hugo as he's like getting up, and she sort of like looks down for a second, like pulls out her phone. Amity.
Aiden?
You ready to tap in? And that's where we'll end our session.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Poetry.
Poetry.